Well, 3 months after clogging one of the world's most vital trade arteries, the Ever Given is beginning its slow sail out of the Suez Canal. The vessel ran aground in late March. It took 6 days to free it. The Suez Canal Authority then seized the vessel, demanding $900 million in compensation from the ship's Japanese owners. Well, now a lawyer for the authority tells CNN an agreement has been reached and the Ever Given is resuming its journey. The impact the blocked ship had on global trade was something we've never seen before. Our Ben Wedeman was there covering the nerve-wracking story from Cairo when it happened. Take a listen.
As dredging work continues, a fleet of tugboats stand by, hoping high tide will provide the vital window in which to free the carrier. Almost as long as the Empire State Building is tall, the Ever Given got stuck during a sandstorm and 40-knot winds, blocking a crucial supply chain that waves around 12% of global trade through the quickest maritime link between Asia and Europe.
Our Ben Wedeman joins us now live for more on this. Certainly caused a major headache at the time, and we've since had 40 days or so of negotiations to come to some sort of agreement. And by the sounds of it, although we don't know the figure, it seems like it's a pretty huge number.
Yes, but we don't know that precise number. As you mentioned, initially they were asking for $916 million. Then we understand that they lowered it to $550. The counteroffer from the insurance company that was representing the ship's Japanese owners counteroffered with $150 million. Now, one of the reasons why the Egyptian demand for compensation was so high was that they wanted to be compensated for the reputational damage done to the Suez Canal as a result of that 6-day blockage. Fortunately, it was only 6 days, so it was a headache, as you said before, but a relatively brief one, all things considered. The Egyptian authorities at the time really pulled out all the stops to try to resolve the crisis as quickly as possible because, of course, Egypt gets a lot of foreign currency from the duties it receives for operating the Suez Canal. So now the ship, this massive 400-meter container ship, which has more than 18,000 containers on board, it's on its way to Port Said at the northern end of the Suez Canal, where the hull is going to be inspected, and it's going to make a fairly slow journey, about 2 weeks, to Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and finally to the UK. What was interesting in that signing ceremony today, which was broadcast live on Egyptian TV, was that the lead lawyer for the Suez Canal Authority said that the Ever Given will always be welcome in the Suez Canal. Lynda?
Well, that is good to hear. I mean, obviously, the authority want as many ships to go through that very busy transit route. What exactly is it going to do to ensure something like this doesn't happen again?
Well, that was being debated in Egypt even before this happened on the 23rd of March. Keeping in mind that in 2015, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi opened in parts of the Suez Canal a second lane, which would be vital because keep in mind where the Ever Given got stuck, there was only one lane in the canal, and therefore that was basically a tight cork in the canal. If you have 2 lanes, you can divert ships around it. And so there is talk of a further expansion of the canal. Now, that 2015 expansion cost Egypt $8 billion, so it's not cheap. But if the Egyptians want to avoid a repeat of this intense but fortunately brief crisis, they are talking about further expansion, another lane in that area of the canal to avoid this in the future. Lynda?
Yeah, we're not talking about spare change, shall we? Ben Wedeman for us on this story. Thanks so much. Well, still to come, policing the police. How one South American country is dealing with a surge in violence by the very people meant to protect it. Plus, freedom or foolishness, the British Prime Minister defends his COVID reopening plan to some of his harshest critics. What he had to say ahead. And the more contagious Delta variant is detected for the first time in Brazil's largest city. The investigation into the patient and what it means for Brazil going forward.